tell you.
Yeah.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, good to be seen.
And make sure you're on that mic. What's going on in your world? Tell me what we're doing this morning here, because I'm not used to a camera. At least it's not pointed at me. It's pointed at you and the round table.
That's right. That's right. Your guest this morning, me, has brought a guest in.
So we have a guest of a guest.
That's right. Like
Phil, did you charge the guest of the guest of the guest? Did we do that?
Not that anybody knows.
Okay, all right.
But I have a crew currently taking the wheels off his vehicle.
So what's going on, Dave? What's the project today?
Friend Duane Weed has come down from Howard City to join us this morning.
Bit of a haul, thank you.
A little bit. And, well, Duane, you want to talk about the project?
Jump in.
Just a little bit?
Tell us what this new project is.
Thank you for having me today. I came up with an idea to promote Michigan music.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of transpired back in December. And I call it My Basement Sessions, which is M-I
Mm-hmm.
Basement Sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find that at mybasementsessions.com. The idea is to promote Michigan music and the people that make it happen.
Nice.
So whether that's musicians or a band or a recording studio or a record shop, anything that deals with music, we're going to cover it. Plus we do some reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And had the honor of having Dave and the other husbands that are on the loose join me in the basement. And we put together a jam of about, I think, 5 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them went live last week. So if you go to mybasementsessions.com, which is MI, you can see David and the other husbands performing with a drummer.
Cool.
Which
Now I did put that in here. Does that forward automatically to a Facebook page, or
it does right now?
Okay.
Because I'm in the process of designing the website.
Okay, that's all right.
I've got most of the pages done. I just haven't made it live yet.
Love the logo. I think it looks great, and looks like a very interesting page to begin with there.
Well, we're going to have fun with it because loving music and being in video, I said, you know what? The older I get, let's combine the two.
Why not?
And when I started the show, I've been around music all my life, and I went, okay, who do I know that I can corral into my basement, to come in and get this show started.
Okay.
But, eventually, and hopefully in not too distant future, it's not going to be all in my basement.
Let it grow, hopefully.
Well, the idea is that we can go out to venues, wherever music happens,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a recording studio or it's the corner bar or, the
a
lounge.
live event in Ionia or something
A
like that.
festival,
Sure,
exactly,
festival.
Music on the green.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's all on in the future. The other thing is the, schools.
Good point.
We can do schools, we can do churches,
Mhm.
worship bands. If it's Michigan music, that's the only thing that we kind of say, it's got to have something to do with Michigan.
I think that's a very, very good start, and that looks great. Can't wait to see what you do with the new website. But folks, you can check it out on Facebook. Either type in the domain address, which again is,
mybasementsessions.com, and it's MI for Michigan,
or
of course.
search for it directly on Facebook if you're a Facebooker right now, and you can see it that way. Very
And on
cool.
YouTube as well.
There you go. Now that'll get to everybody and anybody, because anybody can access YouTube. You can be a YouTube watcher without being a Facebooker. My Basement Sessions, MI Basement Sessions, is a relatively new podcast. Our guest in the studio here, Dave McCrory, who is, I guess, going to be on the podcast. You are featured with the other Husbands on the Loose, is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, it went live last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And features. We decided to do something a little different than what Duane expected,
Mm-hmm.
in that he said, well, you tell me some of the songs that your band does, and I'll listen to them and practice them up, and then we'll get together. And we decided we wanted to play all original music that we had written ourselves.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly. And so I sent him the recordings that we had, and he came up with some percussion tracks for it and so
Wow.
on. So by the time we got together, it all melded together pretty
And
well.
I'm sure you had a great time doing it.
Oh, it was a fantastic time.
Now,
Yeah.
when you make these, are you doing it like this show live, recording it live without correcting anything, so that people get the real vision of
He's got that Paul Schaefer look to it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes, is the answer to your
So you
question.
don't go in and fix it. You just say, this is how it goes.
Well, for the most part, I mean, the goal here is to, especially when they're in the basement,
Mhm.
is I want to jam.
Mhm.
I want a basic jam, but I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Right.
So if there's an embarrassing mistake, there's take two, but you will never know because I'm only going to put out the good one.
Well, yeah, and that's a luxury we have never had here in
Right.
live radio. It just happens. We don't even have a delay here, believe it or not.
But
so.
the really nice thing about the show, and the thing that I want to do is, kind of, as you unpeel the onion type of thing, I want to take a deeper dive into the musicians, into the bands, where we're going to interview them. It's not just the music. It's, okay, and David did provide a challenge for me. By saying, hey, we're going to do all original songs that I'd never heard before. No, you got a week to learn them. Not a problem. But the idea was, I like that because it allowed them to show their creativity. And the nice thing about it is, David does go into explaining what inspired the song. Whether it was an old girlfriend or whatever it might have been.
Be
I
careful,
know.
his wife was just here.
And she was sitting right behind him when we were doing the show. So, but at this point, it's kind of neat to learn how they got together and the pranks that they pulled when they were in high school.
Oh, wow.
And, some of those things that will come out in the episodes as we do.
You make me grateful for one thing, and that is that our friend Phil Cloud is not a musician. Did anything come out in doing this that the wives didn't know about in this?
No, we've told these stories so many times.
Because I would.
But they were
about,
fresh to me.
Yeah.
They were fresh to me, and it's fresh to the audience too.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I'm looking at is I want to make it fresh to their fan base, but also open it up to
You do
whoever.
have to keep it fresh. I've been told too many times that my jokes are bad and I shouldn't use them anymore.
Well, it's funnier in my head than when it usually comes out of my mouth.
I know the feeling.
What,
I know.
Jim's jokes?
What I say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Have I told you the one about the Norwegian elk
Oh,
hound?
God.
Never mind. Never mind. Dave already knows the answer to that.
Yeah.
You know the sound Norwegian elk hound makes.
Yeah, but we had, or I should say, Duane had an opportunity here a while back to do a little different mix too, in doing a review of a video. And he chose Billy Strings, which we're all very familiar with Billy.
Yeah.
And just kind of listen to the tune and do a commentary over the song. And that was kind of interesting to get that perspective. And to talk about him and his career from what they learned online.
I want it to be open. This being a new show, I've got to be creative. I can't call up Billy. I can't call up some of these people and say, "Oh, Mr. Seeger, can we meet next week?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I'm really looking for that fresh Michigan music. I mean, we all know the big names, but I want to know, the husbands on the loose. What's coming up this week? John from Local Spins down in Grand Rapids, or over in Grand Rapids from here, I guess is how you say it.
That's all right.
The idea that he's done a lot of great things with bringing out the music industry in West Michigan. Well, had an opportunity to sit down and just talk to him about what they're doing. And I've got recording studios that want me to come in and do things on them, but also the bands that they represent. And I don't know where this is going. As long as it's music, and David mentioned the reviews. I like that because I'm actually taking something that they've already done, put it out there, and we're not Simon. We're not out there to put down. I want to talk about and Billy Strings. I had not heard of him until David was in my basement, and we happened to be talking about Michigan, musicians, and he brought up the name. So a friend of mine, Nick Smuck from the Sparta area, came in, and we've done some jamming together. I had him sit with me as we reviewed. Now I had heard the song, but Nick had not.
Okay.
And
it's kind of like passing it on. It's you're getting more and more people interested in the music the more you bring in.
And I want to, one session that I want to look at doing, I want to have a segment on Michigan brews and music.
Ooh.
Where I can bring in a craft beer brewer and we can have a drink, talk about what they're doing, but let them maybe do a review.
I was going to say, I bet the reviews get better and better if you do that.
Well, oh man, I'll give a little secret, and the the 5 reviews that Nick and I did that evening, looks like we're drinking coffee, but it was a really good dark beer from from Crankers
Perfect.
up in Big Rapids.
You can call it a prop that way. It was a prop for the looks.
But it's just one of those things that we're not promoting.
Right.
But it's the idea
But
that
you have every right to. This is
Yes.
this is online. You don't have to worry about FCC regulations and things like that.
But we want it to
you
be
know.
family friendly.
There you go.
You know,
and I applaud that. There's not enough of that in the world online, and I think yes, Phil.
No. I'm just trying to family friendly.
Phil
Still
doesn't
studying
understand.
that concept.
Yes, you are.
Well,
I
we can
love
have
this
fun.
concept.
We can
Yes.
have fun without
Oh, yes.
being
I love it.
rude, and that type of thing.
Gentlemen, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having us. We
Good luck with the
appreciate
new
it.
podcast and the website. Keep us up.
Well, follow us.
we have.
Keep up on it, and we'll
Subscribe.
we'll be putting new episodes out. My goal when I started was I put an imaginary number of 16. I
Wow.
wanted to have 16 episodes already produced before I released one,
Okay.
and I did. And then as soon as I had the 16th, I released it.
There you go. Well,
and
having a
David,
plan is great, and it looks like you're meeting your goals.
I'm trying.
Good for you. I think that's great.
Michigan, mibasements.com. No,
MI
I'm sorry, mibasementsessions.com.
There you go.
Get the wrong one, and you'll find some waterproofing company.
Oh, well,
So-
Probably.
inspired by inclement weather, yes. mibasementsessions.com.
Well, musicians, they're kind of.
We will put the link to it on our Facebook page following this morning's
Thank
show,
you.
So you can
Thanks a bunch.
do that, and we'll get it followed here. Thank you, gentlemen. Good to have you with us.